Hello, my name is MooingCat and welcome to part 5 of this guide on how to start a brand new world. You can find all the other parts of this guide in the written version or the video playlist linked in the description. Now, this part of your city is probably the most eventful period of your first day. Here you will unlock events, friends and guilds all within a very short period. Now, as I mentioned in the last part, you need 10 forge points to do so. The rest you will get from story quests. So your first step is to research Cultivation to unlock events. If an event is active at the time, make sure to check the grand prizes. As I mentioned, you might be able to get some free forge points. You will probably not be able to do a lot in the event yet, but you could try to play it a bit with a free currency. For now though, just ignore the event and focus on the story quest instead. You will now get a side quest to build a fruit farm, and you do need one of these later on for the story quest, so I recommend building one now. And if you've followed my layout previously, it is very easy to fit in one here by deleting a few buildings and moving buildings a little bit around. So very easy to fit in if you follow the same layout as me. Now after that you will get some side quests to produce various production in the fruit farm. These you can either complete or abort. Personally I aborted them to get back to recurring quests because you do have to wait a couple of minutes to construct the fruit farm. Now, you will now start a questline to get all the blueprints for the Oracle of Delphi, or simply Oracle. So your next step is to complete these. Now, you can see me completing them here in the video, or if you want a list of them, you can find that in the written guide. Now, as you can see, a few of these are production quests, so if you are prepared, that is even better. But halfway through you will probably be stuck anyways, because your fruit farm is probably not finished constructing yet. Anyways, when you need to research a technology, I recommend researching thatched houses. If you need to, buy the remaining forge points and unlock that. This will finally unlock the friends list, so now it's time to clean up that a little bit. If you followed my advice from earlier and sent out a bunch of friend requests, you can start cancelling most of those and send out new ones instead. If they haven't replied by now, they might not be worth keeping, so better to cancel those now and send out new friend requests. Again, if you are on a brand new world, I would send out to a bunch of the top players. If you are on an established world, I would simply send out to a bunch of random players from various points in the list, as I mentioned previously. Now you should also send requests to the players suggested by the game itself. These are usually active, so worth giving a go now. In addition to the friend list, you now also have unlocked the Aid All or the Neighborly Helper panel. So if you need coins, you could start aiding your neighbors or friends now. Make sure to do this while completing a recurring quest, but also keep in mind that for the next part of story quests, you do need to motivate or aid 5 buildings. So make sure you still have a few friends or neighbors to aid for that. Alright, when the fruit farm has been constructed, you can put it on a 15-minute production, and when that is complete, we can start again on the story quests. So after that, you need to send another friend request, and then we have this quest to motivate or polish 5 buildings that I mentioned. So here, make sure to do that. Then after selling any one building, a road for example, you can now finally build the Oracle of Delphi. Here, I recommend building it, but do not contribute any forge points to it. I recommend building it, collecting the 20 forge points from the story quest, and then actually deleting the Oracle again. This will mean you're stuck on story quests until you reach Iron Age, but those 20 forge points are much more valuable when used for research than for the actual Oracle. The Oracle is not a great building, so I see no need in wasting forge points on it, and I, again, would rather spend those forge points on technologies. So you should spend those forge points on unlocking Smithery and teaching, and if you're smart about it, you will do this while completing 2 of the 8 forge point recurring quests, and also the research 2 technologies recurring quest. Now, especially the Smithery technology is a big game changer. This will unlock blacksmiths, which are one of the main buildings early on, and more importantly, it will give you access to guilds. So let me go over each of these in turn, starting with blacksmiths. These are better than all the other Bronze Age supply buildings, so I recommend replacing at least the hunters and potteries with blacksmiths. Personally, I kept the fruit farm, but you could definitely sell that as well. There is a second reason though why blacksmiths are really good, and that's for recurring quests. In Bronze Age, one of the recurring quests asks you to reduce the 24-hour production in the blacksmith 2 times. Now with the layout I'm using right now, I can fit in 16 blacksmiths, which means 8 recurring quests per day. On average, this will produce 15 goods and half a 5 forge point pack per day, which in addition to the supplies, coins, medals and blueprints is quite a nice reward for Bronze Age. Now, depending on how long you plan on staying in Bronze Age, and if you're able to trade within the guild, you might not even need a goods building, but more on that in part 6 and 7. Now, unlocking guilds, as I mentioned, is a really big deal, both on old and new worlds. It will probably have a bigger immediate impact on a well-established world, but even on new worlds it will be good. You can now do what's called guild hopping. This means looking for open guilds, or guilds that you can join without sending an application, joining that guild, aiding all the players, which is really easy now with the aid all feature. Then after that, leave the guild again and repeat this as much as you want. This is a really nice way to get a lot of coins and also blueprints early on, and something I recommend all players to do. Now in the next part of this guide I will discuss staying in Bronze Age for a bit versus moving to Iron Age immediately. So if you plan to move to the Iron Age immediately, you might want to hold back a little bit, because after you leave a guild you can't rejoin it again for 7 days, and you get much more coins guild hopping in Iron Age versus Bronze Age. In Bronze Age you get 20 coins per aid, and in Iron Age you get 50. So if you're planning to move up, you might wait a bit and join guilds after you've moved up to Iron Age to do this. That said though, recurring quests are easier to complete in Bronze Age. You need to aid 90 players to complete one in Bronze Age versus 120 players in Iron Age. But still, you do get much more coins in Iron Age, so if you do plan on moving up, it might be better to wait a bit before going through all the free to join guilds. Now, if you are on a brand new world, I'm not sure how many free guilds you will be able to find, but I'm sure you will be able to find some. On old established world, you will find plenty of open guilds to join and to aid, so you should be able to get quite a lot of coins this way. Now, with the new aid all feature, you can easily get through all free to join guilds in a day, at least all that are worth joining. So once you've done that, you can decide if you want to keep on doing this every 7 days, or if you want to settle down. Settling down will give you access to the guild expedition and eventually guild battlegrounds as you move up to Iron Age, and even if you can't do too much right now, it might still be worth it for the small rewards you are able to get. Also, staying in a good and supportive guild will help you trade better and for free, which is something you definitely will need if you plan on moving to Iron Age immediately. Now, you can probably do a bit of trading while you are guild hopping, but it is easier to do if you settle in a good and supportive guild. Now, you could also do a bit of a middle ground of guild hopping every Monday and then finding a guild to settle in for the week. You can't go back to the same guild each week, but if, for example, you are in a guild with a sister guild, you could jump back and forth each week, every Monday, guild hopping while you are switching. Now, if you are playing on a brand new world and you don't want to settle yet, either stay in the last guild you joined or even start your own guild until you're ready to do more guild hopping. This way, people can aid you while they are guild hopping themselves, and you get your buildings aided as well. On an old world, I would simply stay in the last guild you joined. I wouldn't recommend starting your own temporary guild. Alright, that's it for this part. Hopefully you found it helpful. You can find all the other parts linked in the description through the playlist or the written guide. And with that, let me thank my Patreons before I end this video. I would like to thank Homestar, Fort Prefect, Lorden, Rockanobin, Kim Cayley, Rolf the 8th, PQ the Goat, Dan Suminat, JT, The Rev, Merrick P, Hugo Count von Count, Jan Fredriksen, Jude the Generous, Filda, Rush, Susan Weiss, Megarock, Rocco, Eric, Henrik Dare Klerberg, Mattia, Obshidi Obsessed, Raf, Kim, Odaril, Mike, Wolfboy, and Flavius Belisarius. Thanks a lot for watching, take care, and I will see you in the future.